Alright, so I already filmed this video and then crazy stuff happened to the Surface Duo community, and then I tried to edit it a bit and add some things, but I just wasn't happy with it. So here I am, first thing this morning, and I'm going to just redo this entire video. And the topic of this video, the question I'm asking here is this: were we, more or less, just beta testing Surface Duo and Duo 2? Anytime you see anything written about Duo 1 or Duo 2, you kind of see the same sorts of things, right? People refer to it as a device that failed to gain traction, that no one bought, that wasn't popular, all of these sorts of things. And I have said for a long time, well, that's not exactly fair, because it's not like Microsoft really had a large or strong push behind these devices. When Duo 1 first came out, there were a handful of ads, right? But very, very little. And then when Duo 2 came out, maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think that there were any ads to speak of at all. And when you compare that to what, Samsung does, where they're spending, I believe all of Samsung spent over $2 billion on advertising last year. Of course, not all of that went to their phones, but a lot of it went to their phones. They're spending, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on advertising. And Microsoft with Duo and Duo 2 are just simply not advertising. You also have to contend with the fact that with Duo 2, they clearly just didn't make that many of them. I mean, the thing's been out of stock in a lot of places for a long time. We talked about this in a recent video. And you put that together and you have a device that they're not marketing and they made very few of. And that makes you wonder, were they really intending on selling that many Surface Duos and Duo 2s? And I think the answer is relatively obvious. It's no, they really weren't intending on selling very many of these things. And now we have the news that, look, we've been talking about on this channel, I think since May of 2022, that Duo 3 is likely to be a single screen foldable OLED device. And let me jump on my soapbox just a little bit here, because I've gotten comments from a handful of you saying, what of your sources now? You were telling us that Duo 3, the Duo wasn't dead, and now we know that it is. No, that is the opposite of what we know. Duo is not dead. Duo 3 is still alive and well in active development. It's simply moving from a single screen to a dual screen device. And now Zach in his article mentioned that there's a chance that they may change the thing's name, but internally it is still known as the third generation Surface Duo. It is the next in the Duo line. We've been telling you this again since May, okay? I think that's my earliest video where I fairly concretely talked about patents that Microsoft had to make a single folding OLED device. We're talking about this for a long time. And now we have as close to confirmation of that as we're probably going to get for a good while. And guys, with that news, we have to wonder, look, we were dual screen for 2 iterations and now we're leaving that. Why? Why are we leaving that? What is going on? Did they basically use us as beta testers to determine that there just wasn't enough in the dual screen market? Did they use us to determine that dual screen wasn't competitive, that it wasn't good enough, and now they've moved on? Well, let's add to this, because what I've been told is that they had not 1, but 2 dual screen Surface Duos that were near completion that were canceled. We all saw the Duo 2 Go, right? The light version of Surface Duo that leaked late last year that was called Cronus internally, and in the firmware, that's how it was referred to as, I believe, CRS or Cronus. Apparently, at the same time that was scrapped, a Duo 3 model with edge-to-edge screens, wireless charging, 2 screens, that thing existed. It was being worked on. Apparently, that was scrapped at the exact same time to go in favor of a single folding OLED screen. And honestly, this is something I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around. The idea that they put in, I mean, let's go all the way back to the beginning. How long has Duo, or what do they call it before Duo, the courier concept, how long has this stuff been in development with money being flowed into it? A really long time. Lots and lots of money flowed into this project. They put out Duo, they put out a Duo 2, then they make a Duo Lite, and they make a Duo 3, which are both then canceled, and now we're moving to a single folding OLED screen. For people that are worried they're going to just stop with the Duo project at all, a folding Android device, they probably can't, because at this point they have devoted so much money into R&D into this project over so many years. Just canceling it almost seems totally infeasible. Then again, canceling 2 nearly completed devices in this project also seem totally unfeasible, unless, of course, Maybe there's more to this, but unless, of course, the data that they feel like they had gathered from Duo and Duo 2 from us buyers or the people that didn't buy, the reviewers, the complaints that the people saw, made them truly, truly believe in their heart of hearts that the only path forward for Surface Duo would be to change its design from a dual screen to a single folding OLED device. Now, obviously, I can't tell you what Microsoft's intent was, right? Were they intentionally not pushing this thing and not marketing it because they only wanted a small group of people, the most diehard Microsoft fans, to see it and then give feedback on it? I don't know. I can't really say that for sure, but what I can say is that they didn't market it and they did not push it very hard. And what they got was feedback from the most vehement, the strongest supporters of the Microsoft Surface brands. Whether that was their intent or not, that is what has happened. And now they are totally changing the design of the device. And you would have to assume they're doing so based on the feedback that they received from their market. And so whether or not they intended to use us as beta testers or not, that appears to my eyes to be effectively what has happened. And I can totally understand why some of you would look at this and go, well, why would I want to buy a Duo 3 or whatever it may end up being called? Because I feel burned from these devices. I totally understand that. For me, I still have a Duo 2 that I really love as a phone and that will continue getting software updates for the foreseeable future, at least another year and a half, almost 2 years of updates left promised for this thing. No reason to think that they're going to renege on that. They've held up their end of the bargain with Duo 1 for 2 years. They've got one more year left on that. So it doesn't take away Duo 2. You still have this device. It just maybe, if you don't want a folding OLED, maybe it takes away Duo 3 that you are hoping to get. Again, I can understand why you might feel burned from this experience. Now, guys, that's all I'm going to say in this video. Rest assured, there's going to be plenty more Duo 3 coverage coming. I might have to make another video talking about how a Duo 3 might work in terms of still emulating a dual screen experience. I feel like I've talked about it, I think, twice already, but judging from the comments that I've been receiving, a lot of you have not seen that content, and there's no real good way for me to like repost it. So I'm probably gonna just do that video again to kind of refresh everybody on it. But like I said, plenty more content like this coming. Subscribe so that you don't miss it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.